All right, I'm just gonna start opening these. So Azure is a food buying co-op, and they have a great story, and basically everything on their website is vetted, and you can buy houseware stuff. I buy my books from them because they tend to have natural alternative books that aren't filled with like a lot of spiritual stuff to them. They're just based on using plants as a form of a way to take care of yourself in natural ways, recipes, all sorts of things. So I really like their library. They vet the food. They have really high standards. A lot of it comes from their farms, and you can read up all about that. But you can buy small things. So I can buy a regular size bottle of avocado oil, or you can buy in bulk, and I buy in bulk. I just find having supplies in bulk makes staying on top of food prep so much easier. It's when I don't have something that I need that we start to rely on, processed foods or running out to grab something to eat. So keeping all this stuff on hand really makes a big impact. But that's it. You don't have to order from them. I'll put a link below to Azure. You don't have to order monthly. It's not like you have to have a certain minimum. If you want to order, you place your order. They give you a deadline. Once you hit the deadline, they're going to load the truck. They'll send you an email, tell you what didn't make it on the truck because it was out of stock or whatever. They'll charge a card. Then they'll send you an email when your truck's coming, and you go pick it up. So we have avocado oil. I'm going to put some of this away as we go. And I cook with avocado oil because it is better for cooking at high heat. So this is a processed item that I bought. So some things I will buy that are pre-made. This is creamy tomato soup that my daughter really likes. And so with the school season here, there are going to be days I need quick food, and I don't want to make tomato soup from scratch. So I bought a case of those. These are shelf stable, and so they go in the pantry. I'm going to get some of these big bags out of our way. Black lentils. Black lentils are one of the healthiest lentils you can... Oh, I didn't get my buckets. I just realized I ordered some more buckets. They're the healthiest greens you can purchase or that you can consume. They all don't have much flavor, so I mix them in so many things. If I'm making rice, I always throw in some black lentils. All sorts of meals, just get black lentils thrown in because it's a protein source and it's tasty and cheap, filling, all the things. So we're going to fill up our container because my container up here is empty. Then the rest will go in a bucket that has a gamma lid, which is a screw-on lid, and that lives in the basement with our year supply stuff. So as I use this, I will reorder smaller bags to keep the bucket full. I just had let it go too low. So the goal is to keep the main bucket filled and use the things we buy, right? So all that to say, I'm not going to let this go empty and then order another bag. I'm going to be topping this off and making sure my bucket in the basement stays pretty full. Now, you can get into the problem when you're adding on top that the newest stuff is always on top and the bottom stuff will continue to age. I just mix it up. With things like lentils that we go through pretty quickly, it's totally fine. Another option is keep your bag sealed, use up what's in the bucket, and then add the new bag. But that's how I do it. So we're gonna fill up our little container. This is where I store all our dried goods and our ingredients. And this is probably all of it, except for a few things, are from Azure. Including these jars. These are my favorite jars ever, and they have taller ones too. All right, this will get carried to the basement by teenagers. Now we have black lentils back on the shelf. This is laundry detergent by the 45-pound bag. It's a Country Save variety. I got 2 of these. I keep a year's supply and had just gotten behind a little bit. A year's supply for our family is just over 3 bags. So I like to keep 4 stored. and we're just doing a little restock. So I have 2 of these. I dump it into a bucket that lives in our bathroom on the floor. We do decorate with buckets around here because that's just part of it. You'll see buckets under here. That might bother some people. And so I used to have a glass container that I filled that was pretty, that I sat on top of the washing machine. But that's just more work to me. Like putting lentils in here is worth it because I can't store 5-gallon buckets of everything we use. But when it comes to laundry soap, it's 5 steps to the bathroom. So I just keep the bucket in there. That's what I prefer. Okay. So many boxes will have multiple things in them based on how they package. So the box isn't necessarily what's in it. These are tortilla wraps. They are Stacy's Organic. It's our favorite. I just stock them in the freezer. Quite a few of those, different sizes, and then ground beef. I do have a local farmer friend who I get our red meat from for those who eat meat in the house. But I also stock up on their ground beef. I have found is grass-fed, grass-finished, organic, all the things. So this is a kid box. Although I do eat the wraps. This one's a case of dish soap, which I actually made. I'll store a couple of these underneath the sink and the rest will go in the basement. I'm making a basement pile on the floor. Okay. I didn't get a lot of elderberry off my bushes this year. The birds got them. So elderberry, go-to cola for the brain. These are teas, tinctures. Polenta. Go through a lot of polenta, so I have a couple of these in here. And these are a grass-fed beef stick for my son for his school snack. He's the main meat eater. All right, these go in, I have an herbal cabinet. I don't need to refill my polenta yet, so these will go right in the basement. Here is orzo pasta. I use a ton of this, and I do need to refill my jar, so I'm gonna refill my jar, and the rest, this is a smaller bag. These are top-off bags, but they actually don't sell this in a bigger bag. You can only buy it in this size. So I'm going to top that off and then throw the rest in the basement in the bucket where I have this in bulk. 25-pound bag of black-eyed peas. Same thing, going to refill our stock up here and then refill our bucket downstairs. Another laundry soap. These are someone else's boxes. Another olive oil or avocado oil. This one will go in the basement. Oh, and then this I don't even need to unpackage. These are one of my favorite pastas, so I buy them by, I think it's a 6-pack. Yeah, comes in a package of 6. It's a kamut grain, which is very nutty. I actually use a lot of kamut, grind it myself, and it makes these spirals. And they're delicious. Just a little pasta, make life easy. Been making it from scratch. I am getting into making my pasta from scratch, but that's like a whole process. Okay, I'm trying to get away from shredded cheese, but again, sometimes in an emergency, this is better than getting food out. So I got 3 of those. I put them in the freezer. Bag of ginger. If you buy ginger or garlic from them and you're gonna not put it in a different container, rip a hole in it immediately because they condensate in these bags. These go under here. Some blocks of cheese that I will shred later. These can store, I'll put one in the fridge and the rest stay in the freezer. Vegenaise. I like the avocado oil version. They're my favorite. Taco seasoning. I refill my containers up here with these things. So I got 2 of those. These will go in the basement. More ginger. I'm making honey fermented ginger this week. We ran out of that. I always keep lemon juice and lime juice in this form stocked. It helps just to have it. We use it quite a bit. Some American cheese squares for sandwiches. Want to go in the freezer. And then here I have, I don't know why I ordered that, nettle leaf, which I don't need because I prefer that. Hibiscus flower, go through a lot of that. Raspberry leaves. Another nettle. And 2 more nettles. Again, I don't know why I ordered those. I might be low on the dried, and I've been eating a lot of ours fresh and pesto. So that may be why. Another nettle leaf. Okay, so these are all going to go in the basement. I've got quite a few lemons in here, and then I'm not going to say what that is because the algorithm will not like it. There's a book that goes along with this called A World Without the C Word. We take these regularly. All right. So that is it for my Azure haul. Not a lot of variety. I was just topping off some things, and that's how I do it and stay on top of it. So there's always something that's kind of falling through the cracks. Like I'll forget to order coffee for a while and then I have to bulk buy. And some of this was that, just things that fell through the crack that I really needed to bulk back up on. And then some of it I just consistently order all the time. You know, we're always using dish soap and going through that pretty quickly. So those things I'm just staying on top of, topping off herbs and things as we need them. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow along in the series if you want to see how we keep our 1-year supply in the basement. Shop for other things. There's other places I shop, other co-ops I shop from, and then also how we manage our long-term food supply, which the things that we have for like a 3 to 5 year emergency situation, but it's also, we eat off of those things. So right now, these items you saw, I am not at the point of pulling those out of long-term food storage and rotating them in, but some things I am. So at the 3 to 5 year mark of those sitting in a bucket in our long-term food storage section, I will pull them out, open it up. Those are the beans or rice or pasta or whatever it is we'll eat, and I will replenish that with fresh stuff. And that just keeps everything young and make sure we're using the food that we're storing up on. The goal isn't to buy a bunch of freeze-dried food that's loaded with chemicals in case there's an emergency and never eat it. Just making sure we have provisions for anything that might come up, but it's provisions of things we actually eat, and we will actually eat those foods. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.